Welcome into the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast, episode 25. I can't talk. Okay, so today I have with me Lou,
Hello.
and Johnny.
I am here.
And supposedly Jason is going to be joining us soon. He was supposed to join as soon as I text him, and I've texted him several times now, and he hasn't joined. So we'll see if he joins a little bit. And
He's gotten kidnapped, like Rob Tisdale.
yeah.
Did you follow that?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, apparently, like there was this big thing where he disappeared overnight, and his wife or his wife's friend came on and started asking questions on the podcast unlocked thing. So, yeah, that's what's happening to Johnny.
Oh.
Not
Or
Johnny.
Jason.
What?
Yeah.
I'm totally here.
Too many J's!
I'm predicting the future.
Oh, okay. And Brendan is actually in Rome right now for a study abroad program. So, yeah. So
For how long?
for the week.
That's just waste.
He's supposedly taking a bunch of pictures of all of the big the places or whatever that are in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and he's going to come back and compare them or whatever in a blog or whatever, something like that, and see how accurate they are and just all that kind of cool stuff.
I mean, the Colosseum's in ruins. I mean, there's going to be a big discrepancy there, but I'm not. I mean, I'm just saying. Let's throw Ubisoft a bone here.
Well, he could compare and just see how the difference from back then and now and stuff. I don't know, but it's just something cool. I was like, that's cool. Anyways, let's move on into the news from nowhere, because we're skipping the anything worth mentioning because Lou hates it.
Nothing is worth mentioning.
Nothing ever. Okay, so number one on the news. Bound by Flame has a release date. The developer, Spider Studios, revealed on their blog that the fantasy RPG will be released on May 9th for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 and PC. There's no word on when or if it will be released for the Xbox One. Reason being, I don't remember where I found this out, but several months ago, whenever I was researching this game and everything, I found out why there's no word on the Xbox One version. It's because when it was being developed originally, the Xbox One's indie game partnership, all that was like really messy. You remember their original plan? And then so by the time they actually changed their policies, Spider Studios didn't want to take the time to develop the game for Xbox One and slow down the development for all of the other consoles and then actually have to push back the release date. They wanted to keep their firm release date, what they thought they could get, and keep it on all those consoles and not worry about the Xbox One. And so that is why it's not coming out on Xbox One, at least yet. They may be working on it now and have it planned for the end of the year or something, but right now, as of now, there's no word on it being developed for Xbox One. Also, there were 6 new screenshots released on the same blog, so go over to middleofnowheregaming.com and look at our story to see the pretty new pictures. The game looks pretty badass.
So yeah, just watch this, because I've deemed myself the king of segues. Ready for this? Speaking of also pretty things.
Oh!
If you are into the Pokemans...
The Pokemans.
And thinking they are beautiful creatures, you should be tuned in to the World Cup this year, my friends.
Oh.
The World Cup. Because Pikachu has been named, wait for it, the official mascot for Japan for the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil. Because that makes sense. let that sink in. What?
No, see, honestly, it's hard to come up with a reason why they would do this. But the only thing I could think of would be the international appeal that we know about Pokemon. We know about Pikachu. Everyone around the world does.
Let's just go ahead and just clarify who they're partnering with. Besides, obviously, the soccer team. It's the Pokemon Company and Adidas.
They actually made uniforms with Pokemon on them. It's awesome.
I'm going to curl up into the fetal position and just die now. This is totally stupid. What?
You say it's
What?
stupid, but I'm going to be that person watching solely because Pokemon.
Yeah, see, that's
the worst.
That's what I'm getting at is the international appeal. It's going to make some people from around the world be like, huh, I'm actually going to watch a little bit of this game just because Pikachu's in it. You know, that's it.
They should have a yellow
Pikachu's
ball.
But he's not playing the soccer.
But they're gonna have a giant fat mascot Pikachu there. It's gonna be awesome.
What if the ball was painted like Pikachu and they got to kick it around? And it was kind of like abuse. What would you watch it then?
Then it would be animal abuse, and then PETA would be there,
They're not.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. My turn to do a segue.
Whoa, hold on. You could segue that just a second. I heard that Twitch beats Pokemon, or Twitch plays Pokemon beat Crystal, since we're on Pokemon.
This is true.
And that they're moving on to what now?
Emerald. They're going to move to Emerald. Okay.
And I heard that the developer is actually going to add in some new features and stuff. Do you know anything about it?
I haven't heard. I've been keeping track of it loosely. When they beat Crystal, he basically put an ultimatum that, hey, if you didn't get to a certain part, we're canning the game. And so somehow the stream came together. They did it. And at the end of Crystal, if you know your Pokemon lore and history, because once again that matters, you fight Red, your hero from the first set of games, the first generation.
Yeah.
And he coded into the game that Red they fought would have the team that Twitch Plays Pokemon had when they beat. So I mean, it had Bird Jesus, it had Lord Helix, it had ATV. I mean, it had all of them, and they just whooped them. And so I mean, it was sort of a nice there we go. I mean, in Pokemon, Twitch Plays Pokemon Crystal sort of had the motto, no gods, no men, only Mon, right? Sort of, riffing on BioShock, right?
Yeah.
So he then basically, Crystal lets you play onward after you beat the game, like most Pokemon games since the original generation. So I mean, they've been sort of trolling around, and I want to say that on the 21st, this Friday, that's when Emerald kicks off.
Nice.
I don't know what new tweaks they'll be adding at this point. I know the biggest thing was that the game automatically went between democracy and anarchy mode during Crystal. Like, it was on a timer, actually, when it would kick back and forth.
I think it was every hour, right?
I want to say it was something like that. I mean, everybody knows anarchy is the way it's supposed to be done, but I mean, hey, he wanted to change it up. I respect that.
Interesting. Okay, so segue, Lou.
All right, going from the World Cup.
World Cup.
Speaking of something a lot of countries are participating in, Microsoft has announced the Xbox will be launching in 26 new countries this September. Argentina, these are the ones I'm reading off that are participating. Argentina, Belgium, Chile, Colombia, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, Greece, Hungary, India, Israel, Japan, Korea, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Slovakia, South Africa, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, and UAE.
Do you know what the UAE is?
I have no idea.
It's the United Arab Emirates.
Oh, okay.
Paying attention in geography class.
They also said that there will be more local announcements by the end of April, so stay tuned. This is actually good for the one or two people we get looking from these countries every day, because we do get people looking from these countries.
Oh, yeah. And I did a little bit of research into this, and I asked around on the internet, hey, how many people from these countries are going to be getting an Xbox One finally? And all of them said, hey, it's coming out in my country, but I already imported it, so it doesn't matter. It's like every single one of them said that. I was like, oh my God. So there's that. Everybody already has one over there, so it doesn't really matter.
Man, you know what, guys?
What?
You know what?
Huh?
I really dig the Microsoft's taking the steps to bring it to other countries. You know what else I dig?
What?
Well, I don't dig. You know what Lou digs?
What? I don't know.
Lou digs Steam World dig. Am I right, Lou?
Oh, snap!
That was a good one. I didn't see that one coming.
So bad.
So, this week, Lou had the opportunity to play Steam World Dig. What'd you think?
I loved it.
You loved it?
Yeah, you know what? It came out for the 3DS sometime last year. This is, by the way, SteamWorld Dig is brought to you by Image and Form, which is a company that really made a bunch of games that no one ever heard about beforehand. And when this came out for the 3DS, it was an out-of-nowhere success. It ended up getting a 9.5 on IGN, and I remember it was the big talk. I never picked it up, even though I picked up a lot of games for the 3DS eShop, just because I never Dig Dug. I'm not a person to like Spelunky. I just don't like digging-based games. I
don't want to get my fucking hands dirty, guys. Come on.
I mean, it's already
Digging
such a
base games.
small
This
niche.
is a genre.
Apparently, it is a very small niche, but a niche. And I ended up getting the review copy for SteamWorld Dig on the PS4, and I lost hours to it on Saturday. It was fantastic. I burned my lunch. I missed 3 calls from my girlfriend, and I thought I'd played for about 1 hour, and 5 hours had passed. So it's addictive. It's fantastic, and I can't wait to see what they do. I know it's already getting a lot of critical success, so I hope it sells well. Everyone who gets a PlayStation 4 or Vita should be picking this up.
I'm definitely interested in it because I played a game called Motherload on the computer a long time ago, and it's still on the internet somewhere. And it's just a digging game where you just fucking dig and find different like crystals and minerals and stuff, which are all worth a certain amount of money. And then you can go and you can upgrade your machine to dig further and faster and have more health and stuff like that. And this sounds just like exactly like that. And I'm like, oh my god, I have to get it.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And do you know what? For those of you guys listening, this weekend we're going to be doing a giveaway for 1 PS4 Vita copy and maybe more if Image and Forum get back to me with more giveaway copies. But I'll get to that later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When we're close to the end.
Okay. Well, since that didn't that come out on Vita?
That did.
Since that came out on Vita, guess what else is coming to Vita? Yeah, you guys like that? There are 3 new apps that were released yesterday, which would be 2 days ago for those of you listening on Thursday. Crunchyroll, which is an anime streaming app allowing subscribers to watch the newest anime episodes after an hour after they have aired in Japan. The second one will be NHL Game Center Live, which allows subscribers to stream HD quality hockey games. And then the last one is Oello, or I don't know how to. Is that Quello or Oello?
Spell check line is blocking.
I know, right? So I'm going to go with Oello Concerts, which allows subscribers to stream HD quality concerts and band-related documentaries. Hulu Plus, Gaiam TV, and Redbox Instant will also be coming later this spring. So that's cool. One of our writer who covered this, who was that? I don't remember. So many people are covering stories. One of our writers who covered this today made the point to say that, while this is cool, it's going to be hard to use any of these apps because the battery will die if you're streaming like a long anime or a long concert or a long game. So you'll basically have to be plugged in probably when you're using these. But so I don't know.
Right, and I've never really used. I have Netflix on my Vita. I don't think I've ever used it. I'm always in a situation that I could watch it just as easily on my phone or on a TV or my computer. I like the fact they have it, but I don't think many people are going to actually use it.
I mean, fact is, it's like I've used the Netflix on my Vita before, and I have the OLED Vita, obviously, and that looks really nice. It's really crisp. But yeah, I mean, it's just like why would I do that when I just could easily pull out my laptop? If I'm going to watch something in my bed, like I'll just be the fat kid and lay it on my belly and just watch it that way, Why use the Vita when it's a smaller screen? But honestly, a lot of this was just sort of like, okay, we all saw this coming. Like, yes, every system so far in the PlayStation ecosystem has had these apps. It makes perfect sense for the Vita to have these apps at this point.
Exactly. Right. It's weird. It's weird not to have apps like these, honestly.
All right, on to the next segue.
Yeah. Well, hold on. We're actually about to add in Jason. Jason's finally ready, so we're going to add him in.
Okay.
Welcome back, everybody. You didn't notice anything, it just happened. But trust me, everything happened. And I think Lou was going to lead us into something in the most creative way possible. Lou,
I am.
what you got for us?
I got the next segue. Speaking of the flurry of new apps coming to Vita, I think it's time we speak about Blizzard. Blizzard has finally shut down the Diablo 3 auction house. Blizzard announced back in September that today would be the day that the real money auction house would be closing its doors, and it seems that they followed through with their promise. Any remaining auctions still open are allowed to finish, and any completed transactions have to be claimed before June 24th, though players are no longer able to search and bid.
Okay. Does that affect anybody? Is anybody playing Diablo 3?
Do you guys know what the issue was like with the auction house?
It totally broke the game, was the problem with it. I mean, when a game is designed around playing and getting good loot, and then you have a in-game mechanic that totally circumvents your entire drive for the game. It just totally destroys the loop you're trying to create. Your loot loop, if you will.
Now, is this the real money auction house?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they still have the in-game money auction house?
I'm pretty sure all auction housing is done.
Oh, wow,
All
okay.
auction, no. Like, because Loot 2.0 pretty much reset everything. Pretty much Loot 2.0 is basically the system they had in the console versions of Diablo 3. Because obviously the console versions didn't have any of that nonsense.
Okay.
It was just that. And so basically they completely changed the loot tables for the game. Like, you can pretty much sit there and actually get stuff you need to progress to the next level by actually playing the game now, as opposed to sitting there and having to spend God knows how much real world money to actually get, like, okay, I now am finally going to get this armor I need so I can actually class into Hell difficulty or Inferno and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Right.
I mean, basically, people who've been playing the game for a while have known this has been coming, obviously, for months. It's sort of like, okay, they finally did it. Good for them. I mean, and it makes sense because obviously this is all in preparation for Reaper of Souls.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Which comes out,
which
like,
is coming
what,
out here, which
Yeah.
is going to be,
next week?
yeah, I mean, it comes out this month. I mean, I think so.
Yeah, like the 26th or something like that. I don't remember. Something like that.
Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but Loot 2.0 was universally loved, right? Everyone loves the new system
Yes.
better than the old system.
It is fixed Diablo 3.
Is anyone going to pick it up with the PS4 version eventually?
I mean,
I was
if
thinking
that
of getting
thing-
into it. Yeah.
I mean, if that ever comes out, sure. I mean, I played it on PS3. I mean, I had a friend come over, my old roommate. He and I would sit there and we'd co-op through that game like it was nobody's business. And I would love to sit there and go through with the new setup on the PS4. But technically that game doesn't have a date. It's still in the ether somewhere. So Lord knows when that'll ever see the light of day, unfortunately.
A lot like other games, if they come out on PS4, I will most likely give it a chance. Like, since it's a brand new console and there's not a whole lot out, I've been taking more chances with games on PS4. So, and that's probably one of them because I've never played Diablo. So it always looks cool, but I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. So I'm not going to take a chance.
Right.
I mean-
Courtney, should we introduce the mysterious voice that's been coming through?
Your quality's starting to cut out, Lou. But I mean, we kind of did at the beginning when we said that he might be joining in a little bit later, and then might not. You never know. and then we announced that we were gonna hold on or hurry up and add him in or whatever. So, anyways, yes, Jason has joined the podcast. If anybody is not paying attention and just wondered and had no idea who that strange ghostly voice was, that just appeared.
Clearly, I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, God, your quality is really shitty right now. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to like boot you out and add you back in.
Got it.
Okay. So continue on with the next story.
Honestly, speaking, I mean, the fact is, like, this is a good time to actually hop in and like try new stuff. And speaking of like new things that'll be coming out, Microsoft at GDC, because it's GDC week, basically announced the first 25 games coming through their ID at Xbox program, the Xbox One. It's really nice. Obviously, is that, hey, it's a slew of new games. I mean, new-ish games, at least, coming to the Xbox One. They're all new for the Xbox One, obviously, because everything's new on that system. But obviously, it's a good, healthy mix of some new titles as well as some stuff you've seen before. I mean, you have new stuff. Obviously, some new games you haven't heard, like This Is a Red Box, or This Is How I Draw the Box. I can't remember what it's called. The full list is on the site, everybody, so go check it out. But you'll see stuff on there like Castle Storm Contrast, which was obviously a PS4 launch game. Dive Kick, my personal favorite, because it's going to be Edition. And if you like fighting games, you'll realize that's a hilarious joke, which I won't explain here. And obviously other little indie darlings like Strike 2 Zero and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's really cool, obviously, that they are getting a lot of those indie titles out on the system. And obviously this is, they've said on record that over 200 studios are working with the independent developers at Xbox program. And so, I mean, this obviously is like, hey, these are the first that are out of the pipeline. What makes it an interesting story to me, at least, is the fact that, okay, out of those 200 or so, how many of them are actually new games, or how many of them are just ports or newer versions of stuff we've already seen before? And like I said earlier, you'll see stuff on that list like Guacamelee Super Mega Deluxe Edition, whatever they're calling it, right? Guacamelee obviously being the PS3 and Vita game that critical acclaim, real great review scores, came out on Steam as well. or is coming out on Steam as well as the Xbox One. So I mean, I'm curious to see how many of these are actually new independent projects. But regardless, Xbox One owners should be really excited about this, if only because, once again, in a launch type of scenario, you don't have a lot to play, and this is obviously going to give them a lot of stuff coming out to play around with. So, hey, bully for them.
Yeah. Lou, how's your quality? Let's see.
How am I doing?
Oh, I don't know. Keep talking.
I don't know what to talk about.
You should talk about.
You sound decent. You sound decent.
It's better than it was, but it's still not as great as it was as when we started. So,
All right. Well, I'm slowly closing out of every program in my house.
in your house, okay. Well, anyways, so moving on from the Xbox One to the Xbox 360, EA has revealed that Titanfall on Xbox 360 will be delayed again. They revealed that it will come out on April 8th in North America and April 11th in Europe. EA Executive Vice President Patrick Soderlund said, "I want to update everyone on Titanfall for Xbox 360 in development with Bluepoint Games. I've been playing the game a lot, and it's fantastic. We see a few things that can be made even better, so we're giving Bluepoint a little more time to do just that and deliver an epic Titanfall experience for Xbox 360 players." He also said that the game will feature the same 6 vs 6 gameplay, maps, modes, weapons, and burn cards as the Xbox One and PC versions of the game did. "We appreciate everyone's patience, and we get the last... What? Sorry. We appreciate everyone's patience as we get the last details right. See you on the frontier." So, yeah, just another 2 weeks delayed after the last delay, which was 2 weeks also. So basically a month after launch for Xbox One and PC, it'll be coming out on 360. This is kind of worrisome news, as we still haven't seen any video or pictures or screenshots, blah, 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 anything for the 360 version. But at the same time, any delays are almost always good delays.
For sure.
So hopefully this improves the game.
I would throw out there, just coming from more of a business and marketing standpoint on this might not necessarily mean that the game is in bad shape. I think this has everything to do as a marketing call. I mean, fact of the matter is, as far as anybody knows, Titanfall is an Xbox One game. Like you're not really even seeing any ads for the fact that it's out on PC as well right now.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they're wanting to sit there and get this out and have it out there as like the flagship Xbox One title. Even though it's not even a first-party game or anything like that. I guarantee you that part of this delay is probably to help distance that 360 version from the Xbox One version, just once again to keep pushing more of those sales.
I have one argument against that, though, and it's that EA is the one that is pushing this, and that EA is a money whore, and why would they want to push it for Xbox One if there aren't as many Xbox Ones out there? There are much more 360s. So wouldn't you think that they would want to get it out as quickly as possible? Because they're not. I mean, unless they have a deal with Microsoft,
I'm saying Microsoft is shoveling money into their pockets.
Yeah,
I think they probably gave them a good hefty amount to basically tell them just be quiet on that version of the game.
Yeah, just give us a month.
Let's just
more likely, guys, it's not the holidays. It's not like they're in a rush to get that game out. Titanfall is a popular name. It's a new intellectual property. The fact is, like, there are obviously a handful of million more 360s and Xbox Ones out there in the wild right now.
Yeah.
That game, when it comes out on 360, as long as it's a playable state, will probably sell based on the name alone for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have to worry about that version selling as long as it works, right? And so if they can give that Xbox One version a little more breathing room to keep building up sales and keep its own marketing momentum going, I think that helps them more long term than going ahead and getting them both out and causing some sort of marketing confusion.
Well, and at the same time, you look at it from the fiscal year point of view, and the Xbox One version and the PC version are going on last year's fiscal year, while the Xbox 360 will start off their new fiscal year. And so they could see a huge bump right at the beginning of the year based on just Titanfall sales on Xbox 360.
Sure enough.
Yep.
Anybody have
Here's
a
your little
segue?
business corner.
Anybody have a segue for the next one?
Man, Titanfall is totally...
Speaking of industry titans.
Oh.
See, this is
That's pretty good.
Violence and murder in Titans. So yeah,
God of War
former, yeah.
One of you guys.
Stig Asmussen. Asmussen? I don't know. Stig's gone.
Stiggy.
Basically, he was the creative director on God of War 3. Was working at Sony Santa Monica on an unnamed project. Not anymore. He
worked on a recently canceled project that happened, right?
Supposedly.
That's the rumor.
It's rumored. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what he was working on, or if this and the canceled project have any real connection whatsoever? But yeah, he's donesies at this point. I mean, the guy's real talented. He's gonna have a job somewhere. I mean, it's just, I think what made this story a hair newsworthy was the fact that Sony Santa Monica has been in the news recently because of all the other layoffs, and so it's like, oh look, one more, and this one has a name that people recognize.
Yeah. Well, and the reason they think it's on the unnamed project or whatever is because he wasn't working on God of War Ascension. So he must have been working on the other project that was going on at Sony Santa Monica. And this is just another one of the big names from a Sony company leaving, which everyone is calling a conspiracy right now. It's like, no, they're not connected.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Oh, man. I don't know. Sony's on fire.
Sony's on fire. They're killing everyone.
So yes, moving on. Speaking of Sony, this was easy.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say that too. Go on.
They've announced the next PlayStation 4 firmware update. What will it include, everybody? Someone jump in.
Oh no! It will include a rich video editor to personalize clips, the ability to share videos and screenshots to a USB drive, and the ability to turn HDCP off, which allows for HDMI capture. Woo!
How happy does that make you, Courtney?
Oh god, it makes me so happy. I can't wait to start recording my PS4 games. Like, then I can start doing video reviews and stuff again. Like, oh, so excited! I'm so excited. Sorry. I'm okay.
Courtney was practically salivating after I published the article.
Yeah, I was like, does this mean I can do it now? And he's like, not yet, soon. I was like, no! Oh, man. They also said that following update in the future, in conjunction with Twitch and Ustream, will allow streamers to archive their footage at a beautiful 720p. Woo! I like how we called it beautiful, since like everyone talks shit on 720. It's not 1080, damn it! It's not beautiful. That's ugly.
I hate resolution. Anyway.
All resolution. New Year's resolution, all resolution.
Talking
resolutions.
Talking about resolutions, how about a revolution? Oh. The next Assassin's Creed is rumored to be set in Paris in the 18th century, which ties it to the French Revolution. Uh-huh. Yeah. See what I did there? Bitch.
I call the next one.
Oh, okay. Kotaku.
There is no next one.
I'll still do it.
Kotaku obtained several screenshots that they posted in a story today. The screenshots include several Parisian locations, such as
Parisian.
Parisian. I thought that was the way, but I thought that was for fucking. Never mind. I don't even remember. Is it pronounced? No, I can't even pronounce any of these names.
Say this word, Courtney. I'm
Nope.
putting it on Skype.
I'm not saying any names. What? You putting a word on Skype?
Artisan.
No.
Artesian? I don't fucking know.
Artisan.
Artisan. Oh,
Artisan. Oh god. Okay. So, anyways, there are several locations that are shown off in the pictures.
Like what?
I'm not going to talk about them. They also show off
maybe.
They also show off the new male assassin wearing a black uniform with his sword and pistol. One of the most notable differences in these screenshots from former Assassin's Creed games is the new button interface in the top corner that now include parkour up and parkour down. So they may be changing the ability to move up and down on buildings and things like that to simplify it, which I don't know how they could simplify it anymore, as Assassin's Creed 4 was basically as simple as it can get. So, I don't know. I'm pretty excited about the time and location of the next Assassin's Creed, if this is the case, which I don't see why it wouldn't be. It makes a lot of sense.
I still have to play 4.
Oh, so good.
And 3.
So good.
I still have to play one of them.
Unless the other two buttons they didn't reveal are up and apathy down, I just don't care.
Oh.
I loved AC4 because there were pirates. That's what got me back in. I was like, the Assassin's Creed gameplay on the whole, like, I'm so tired of. Like, I don't care about tailing people anymore. I've been doing it for God knows how many games at this point. I don't care about eavesdropping and making sure I stay in the cone of listening or the circle of listening.
Yeah, those suck.
Even the assassination stuff has gotten very rote. Like, I can sit there and just ace it and call it a day and be like, oh, look, I just murdered that guy and I escaped and so I dove into the water. Good. Like, the standard AC gameplay I'm done with. What made AC4 really fun for me was everything else about that game. And I'm like, I saw these photos and I was like, this looks like Assassin's Creed. And I was like, no, that is not the direction to be going. That's the stuff I did like. And I'd like to think there's a lot of people out like me who are like, who got back into the series with 4 because it was such a departure from the standard nonsense that we'd really grown tired of. And so I am interested to see tentatively what this could be. But at the same time, it's like, if it does go back to being more that same game we've been playing, I mean, how many years has it been since they've made it an annualized release? Since what,
5.
Assassin's Creed 2?
It's been since.
Yeah. So
it's been 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, for the last 5 years, we've been playing the same game in a different time period. Like, I'm sort of.
But
done
it's
with
not
that.
the same game. You're looking at it from a different point of view because I was comparing it with a friend today to the Call of Duty franchise, and we were talking about how Call of Duty is basically the same game every year. On multiplayer wise, there are very little changes here and there, and it's not even to the gameplay. It's more to, you know, how you change your weapons and leveling up and stuff like that. And that's it. It's the same damn game resold at $60 every single year. While Assassin's Creed not only changes the entire landscape and story to it, they also change several of the mechanics to make it smoother and add new abilities. Like in Revelations, they added they tried to do the tower defense, and then they tried to add in ship battles in 3, and then they perfected it with 4. It's like they keep adding in new things and getting better and better each time, while also at the same time, for people who are very into history like myself, they add this huge database of history, and they tie in all these historical events that really happened into this fake story with assassins and Templars. And that's what pulls me in, and that's what pulls in millions of other people as well, is because they love the history aspect of it.
This is true, but I'm once again different point of view, I guess. Like, I'm coming from a totally like mechanic standpoint.
Oh yeah,
and the mechanics of that game have not changed. It has always been a very rhythmic counter-based system. It has always had the same mission types. I mean, I was excited when Assassin's Creed 4 came in. It's like, hey, rate this mission. I was like, oh, that was a follow mission. It's a 1 star.
See, I did the same thing.
1 star.
That was excellent that they added that.
I was sitting there and I'm like, you damn well better be listening, Ubisoft, because I'm letting you know my feelings here. Like, none of this stuff ever again.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the issue of it is just the game isn't challenging. You know, like I don't think the gameplay there's anything necessarily wrong with it. I just don't feel like I'm being challenged while I'm playing it. And
yeah.
like, I know for you, Courtney, the story is a big part of it. You said you're a history buff, but
yeah,
like for me, the story is throwaway, like most video game stories are. So I don't know. It's really hard for me to get into those games. Plus, I'm not really an open world type person. It's just, for me, it's like really overwhelming whenever I get into those games. So much to do, so much to collect.
And see,
I'm the person that likes doing that stuff. But then while I'm doing it and I'm saying, okay, this is not offering any type of challenge for me, and then there's also not a story that I could kind of hold on to, then there's nothing for me then.
I think it's crazy because I'm also not an open world person, but Assassin's Creed just totally like appeals to me. It's probably just because of the story and the history and everything. Because I get what Johnny's saying about the repeated mission types and how annoying those are, and it just over and over every single game has the same kind of things, because those are annoying and I hate those every single year. But I get over it because I fucking fascinated by seeing the Colosseum or seeing, you know, Boston in the 1700s, and it's just like all of these different huge sets of areas that we get to see, and these monuments and these buildings, and then we get to see famous people and interact with them. And oh my god, like I am just so into those worlds. Assassin's Creed is a big thing in my gaming life. Like I love them every year, and after I play them, I'm burnt out. Like, you know, I get to the end of one of them and I'm like, holy shit, I cannot take any more Assassin's Creed for another 2 or 3 years. And then spring rolls around, and then we start hearing about the next one, and I just get excited all over again. And it just happens every single year, the same thing. And I don't know.
Part of the problem.
I love it. I love it. Assassin's Creed's my shit.
I'm the real problem, though. I'm the person who really, still to this day, loves the first Assassin's Creed, and that was by far the most repetitive. I was the person who went out and found every flag, even though there's no map for them. Yeah, I torture myself.
You're a terrible,
but I love
You're
it.
a terrible human being.
Oh, I know it. I know it. So can I do the segue?
Let's do it.
All right. Speaking of Assassin's Creed, if you've always been jealous of the Animus, then today's topic is the one for you. We're talking virtual reality.
Woo!
I should have seen that coming.
I saw it right away when he said the Animus. Or never mind. Fuck it.
How long have you been sitting on that?
I have it written in my note on the computer.
God damn it.
Okay, so what about virtual reality was big this week? Who wants to start us off? Lou, since you did that?
No, I like the Oculus. I want to wait for that one.
Oh, okay.
I'll do Morpheus since I wrote the story
Okay.
about it. So Sony revealed Project Morpheus. A head-mounted display features a white visor with a black wraparound piece along the eye line, and the edges of the device give off a blue LED glow. The prototype will be available for developers to begin creating games soon. Sony stated that a number of software developers, including Epic Games and Crytek, are already on board. As far as compatible games, Sony sold off an undersea adventure demo from Sony London called The Deep, in addition to announcing Morpheus compatibility for Thief and Eve Valkyrie. The current prototype includes a 1080p display, full 360-degree positional tracking, and reportedly low latency. So yeah, I was really excited when I was at work actually yesterday when they were live blogging about it, and I was incredibly excited. Obviously, I've really have been excited about the Oculus Rift, but I just don't have the money to build my own PC and then buy the Rift on top of that. So, you know, I have a PlayStation 4 now. I'm already in that ecosystem. So as long as this comes out and it's kind of priced competitively compared to that in the $200 to $400 range, like I'm totally into it, you know.
That's kind of how I look at it. That I would probably get the Oculus Rift had it been the only virtual reality headset out there. But my PC, as it was a gaming PC 3 years ago when I built it, it is no longer, you know, up to speed with all the current PCs and stuff. And I don't want to rebuild a new one. And I don't know about, you know, gaming and apps that are going to be on PC for it and stuff like that. And so since I already have a PlayStation 4, if this is competitively priced, you know, if it's an okay price and everything, and if they have enough apps and games out for the PlayStation 4, then I will definitely look into buying this over the one for the PC, just because I want to support PlayStation, and I think it would be awesome, and it sounds really good. So that's where I'm coming from Project Morpheus.
Well, before we get too deep into the convos about like the pros and cons of virtual reality, and if that's something that's even going to catch on. I mean, the other big news about the tech-wise is Oculus did announce that they were coming out with the Rift Dev Kit 2. Long story short, we've all known, or if you've been keeping track of the Oculus development, there's been different versions of the headset out there in the wild doing different things. The dev kit, the first dev kit was for Kickstarter backers, and some people were able to. They eventually started selling it afterwards. The Dev Kit 2 basically features a lot of the tech they've been showing more recently at the CES. They had CES in January. A lot of the ones they've been demoing more recently. Basically, has a high resolution OLED display. Basically, it has better motion tracking, obviously, and decreased latency, and an infrared camera. It also gets rid of a lot of the motion blur issues that the first kit did. Basically, it sounds like this is a refined version of the HD Oculus that they've been demoing for a while now. Basically, I guess, you know, when seems to be now a competitor announces their things coming out, you want to go ahead and get news for yourself as well. Be like, hey, by the way, we have a more awesome thing also now that's you can still come and start to buy. Like, but regardless of Morpheus's, which is a great name, mainly because it makes me think of Sandman. It's a fantastic comic.
Not the Matrix.
Yeah, I think The Matrix.
I think they're going for the Matrix.
This is a deep cut from nerd culture. It is a reference to a Neil Gaiman comic by DC. Sure. I will go tooth and nail with that. Fuck the Matrix. Regardless of the Oculus or Morpheus, which when you say them together sounds even dumber. I guess the question worth discussing is this actually something that's going to take off? Like, honestly.
Actually, we have a question about that. Let's see.
From who?
I don't even remember where it is. Okay, from Ryan on Facebook. Ryan. He says, "Do you think VR will penetrate the mainstream and become something that all gamers want to use to play games? I figure this is already a hot topic for the podcast anyways due to the recent announcement from Sony."
Mm-hmm. So funny he should ask that.
You what? Sorry. Anyway, so what do you guys think? Do you think it'll take off?
I mean, the problem I think that arises from this, I mean, they have Sony working on one. They said us, Steam is working on, or Valve is working on one as well, and Microsoft as well. So it's like there's going to be these virtual reality headsets for each individual system, and unfortunately, there's probably not going to be one that kind of is compatible for all the systems. So I think that's the only thing that would hold it back.
It's rumored that Microsoft is working on one. There's no announcements. Yeah. That rumor popped up this week. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they're all going to get into it, and obviously Oculus is what spearheaded this and like made these things come about. Probably made these companies think about going this route. I personally find it exciting. Like for me, I mean, yeah, for games I find that exciting as well. But Sony talked about doing more than that. I mean, the kind of cheesy thing they mentioned was kind of taking a tour of a hotel before you book it, and you get to kind of like have the experience of being at the hotel. But I could even think of it as going to like a foreign place that you can't afford to visit. Someone recreating that, what that experience would be in real life, and then you being able to experience it. I mean, I know there's gonna be people who are divided on that idea, but I think they're gonna get there eventually. So.
And they're partnering with NASA and stuff like that, aren't they?
Yeah, they have a Mars demo, which is going to allow astronauts to experience what it's like to step on Mars without having to be there, of course. And this is something that we'll probably be able to experience as well. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. I talked about this before on the podcast, and I know there's a lot of people thinking that this is something kind of like stereoscopic 3D, which isn't really going to catch on. I disagree. I think that I've always said that when this is going to become a big thing when it eventually latches onto a mainstream console. It's kind of like with the Wii and waggle control or motion control or whatever you want to call it. That really gave people who picked it up a new way of playing a game. And when it's your first time trying something that's completely innovative like that, if it's done well, people are going to want to try, people are going to want to get into. I think this has a ton of potential. I made the argument before that the biggest generational leap we've seen is 2D to 3D from SNES to N64 or SNES to PlayStation. I think we're not going to see another thing like that again until we go standard definition to virtual reality.
Now,
yes, go.
Well, go on, Johnny.
I don't want to say you're wrong because that would be mean and heartless, and we're states away, and I can't give you a hug to say, "Hey, bro, I still love you."
Go for it.
Despite you're wrong. No. I'm excited about this. I'm just going to go ahead and clarify and say I am excited about this. When Morpheus comes out, whatever that invariably does, because it's not going to be anytime soon.
No.
Will I get one? There's a good shot because I'm a big tech nerd, and that's like, and I eat this nonsense up. But the fact of the matter is, let's do another deep cut from nerd culture. Does anybody, I know I'm older than some of you guys. Does anybody ever actually have a chance to play a Virtual Boy when those were out?
No.
Yep.
I actually did, yeah.
Nintendo.
It was pretty bad.
Yes. Imagine that thing strapped to your face, and then imagine your average Call of Duty Madden bra, and I mean that with a BRAH spelling. Like hit me up, beer me bra. Being like, I need to play my Maddens, and he puts on his headset to play. It's like, it's just, I don't see that catching on as a mainstream thing. I think it will be successful enough that you will see support for it. I think it'll be successful enough because of guys like us being like, yeah, put me in the game.
Yeah.
Like, scare the pants off me, or let me fly my spaceship in first person, or let me watch the Doom movie on the headset. So when it gets to that first person part, I can pretend I'm playing it, you know? Like, guys like us are going to be the ones to support this thing, but once again, we're not the mainstream audience. You know,
No.
we're definitely casual. We were definitely the hardcore, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm excited about it. You guys are excited about it, but I think the guys who shop the mom and pop game store, like who buy like a couple games a year, this is not going to be their cup of tea. And I don't think this is going to be the big technological leap. I mean, I think Courtney and I were talking earlier before we started recording. When you give me the holodeck, that sure, I'm in. Like, and everyone will want to have a piece of that, actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think it's going to become the norm to see people not walking around, but people sitting in their living rooms with like a helmet strapped to their head. Even if it is attached to a mainstream console.
Yeah, I think the only one of the downsides to it as well is the fact that that can't really be a shared experience. Like everybody would need to have their own,
Exactly.
of course. So that's what kind of sucks about it. I mean, I think it could penetrate the mainstream in these other aspects that they're interested in using it for. But I mean, I agree with you as far as video games. This is probably just going to be for hardcore. If it's priced competitively enough, let's say if they could get it down to like $200 or $250, I think that will make a big difference in it penetrating for sure.
Like we talked about virtual reality a few weeks ago, and I was pretty down on it on the podcast.
No way.
But the reason why was because the only information we had was for the Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
Now that we have news that it will be coming out on PlayStation 4, or eventually whenever they figure everything out, and that it might be coming out on Microsoft, I'm a little more excited because when I hear about announcements and things like that, I try to take into context, like how good it can be and price wise and all that. But if it was coming out for only Oculus, or only as the Oculus Rift, then they could price it whatever the fuck they want. They don't need to compete with anybody. But now that it's going to be coming out on other platforms by other developers, they're going to have to competitively price it. They're going to have to work to make it the best it can possibly fucking be. And each of them are going to be competing with each other. I look at like Madden, when 2K was a thing and Madden was a thing. They were going back and forth trying to get better and better until Madden bought it out, and now they can't make a 2K football game. And now Madden sucks ass. It doesn't get any better when you have the only one on the market. And I just think it's gonna get better and better with 3 different people working on virtual reality at the same time. I think it can only get better.
Yeah, you see, I agree to some aspect. I think that this is starting it off even at the beginning, like a little past the beginning of the generation. It means that it's not going to attach. It's not going to be really sellable as it is, and it's a big clunky piece of eyewear at the moment. I do think that it's going to sell to the niche audience as soon as it comes out, and it'll sell mildly. I think that when they come to the next piece of next-gen hardware, if that happens, and hopefully it happens, I think that's when we might start making that leap. I think by that point it'll be cheaper. They'll have a better idea of how to do it. And I get the argument that you really don't see people doing it, but then again, I never really saw people I didn't think people were gonna sit there and swing around a Wii remote when they were playing games. And I didn't imagine that me as a hardcore gamer was gonna sit there bowling with it, let alone my grandmother. I think that some things do catch on, and it might be right time, right place for some things, and it might not be the right time, right place for virtual reality, but I think it might be poised to do so. Another thing I want to bring up, does any of you guys see the Illumaroom thing from last year? I know they said Microsoft said they weren't going to do it, but Microsoft announced a prototype called the Illuma Room.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it.
I just watched the video.
Kind of like the image extended onto your walls.
Yeah, it was like little bit holodeck to bring some cool things into your room while you're playing. If you were, it was a projector that you placed in the room, and it would project some really cool stuff. Like if you're playing a level where it was snowing in your video game, you'd see snow around the room. If you were shooting, like things would shake around the room. It actually looks really interesting, and albeit it's just an extension of the game, I thought it was really cool.
Also, along virtual reality, Colin Moriarty of IGN just tweeted out some interesting things. He said, one cool thing I did behind closed doors at GDC was used a gaze tracker while playing Infamous Second Son. It was totally wild. And then he went on to say, basically, the camera scanned my eyes, and then my eyes became the DualShock 4's right analog stick, moving the camera, targeting enemies. How cool is that?
That's pretty crazy.
I can't even imagine that. Can you imagine that in like Call of Duty? Holy shit.
You gotta be really focused.
Yeah, be really fucking fast at moving your eyes around. Wow.
I'm doing that since I was 5, so let's do this.
Tweak out on some like Adderall or meth. Like, whoa!
We in Middle of Nowhere Gaming do not condone the use of meth.
No,
in
fuck
any
that.
fashion for gaming.
Unless you're prescribed Adderall, of course, or prescribed meth. You don't know.
You can't be okay. Sure. All right. So yeah,
Maybe I don't know what happens in other countries.
you're right. Touche.
Yeah, touche. Yeah.
So are we all in agreement? We are all excited about this. Just it's going to be all a matter of implementation and what really is going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna penetrate the mainstream like we said, but
Stop saying
it is.
penetrate.
I'm enjoying that word so much. But just the total immersion, it's gonna be amazing. Like I don't care if the mainstream adopts it as long as it's enough to get it out there and get it into all of our hands. To me, this is the next big thing, like without a doubt.
It's the start of the world changing.
Like we're gonna be there. We're gonna be in that world, and there's no escaping it. There's no looking away.
So what you're saying is, when it penetrates you, you want that total immersion experience where you are covered in that. Awesome.
Oh,
Without a doubt.
Simple yes or no question. I'm just saying. Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have questions.
So let's move on to some more listener questions. We should have talked about this earlier in Assassin's Creed. From Noah on Facebook, he says, what do you think about the possibility of 2 Assassin's Creed games this fall?
It will burn me out.
No, see, I talked about this with a buddy also earlier today. That like I think it's a smart move on Ubisoft's part because what the rumor is that they're going to be developing an Assassin's Creed for next gen and then an Assassin's Creed for last gen. And so if that is the case, then this current gen, next gen version will actually be able to fully use the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One's capabilities, while Assassin's Creed 4 wasn't able to because they had to scale it down to be able to use it on PS3 and Xbox 360. And so I think that'll be awesome because then they could make it an awesome game and everything like that, while at the same time making a separate game for last gen consoles isn't a bad thing because they could do a side story that way, or they could do a different part of the same story, something like that, and still sell it to the 160,000 or million consoles for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 combined, or whatever, something like that. Some huge number that there's still going to be people who are like, hey, I'm not one of the 6 million PS4s that have been sold. I don't have a PS4 or an Xbox One. I want an Assassin's Creed game. This is bullshit that it's not on this console. So it'll still, satiate those people. They'll still be able to get the game, while people who have the next gen can get that, or they can get both if they have both gens. So I don't know. I think this is a cool move on their part. It will burn a lot of people out who have to buy every Assassin's Creed game, and now they're like, oh my god, all of a sudden I have 2 of them. I can't play them both. But I don't know. I think it's a good move on their part.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a smart business decision. Like you said, I don't care about either one, but I'm not trying to be mean or trying to be down. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Has anybody played Ground Zeroes yet?
I have not.
I have not.
No?
I didn't even know that this game was on PS4 and Xbox One for some reason. I thought it was like a last gen thing. I had no idea why, but
That's just the trend.
yeah.
Johnny, are you a Metal Gear Solid fan?
I was at one point.
You
I'm
were.
not anymore.
Oh, okay. Well,
Because you don't
the
like
first Metal
it,
Gear
I-
Solid is like my second favorite game of all time, but I never played. I haven't even played Part 4 yet, so that's what that
Dude,
says about me.
okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I love me some Metal Gear. Like I burned through when the HD collection came out. I played through flipping Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and 4 like in a matter of a couple weeks, just all one right after another. Ate that disgustingly stupid story up. Just ate it up. Fat Man is the best character in a Metal Gear game ever. It's common thought. Rollerblades and martini. Dude, I'm just telling you, if I was to be a supervillain, I would gain the hundreds of pounds necessary and learn how to rollerblade so I could drink martinis and set bombs places. It makes perfect sense. I mean, it's scary and charming all at the same time. I love those games to death, and I thought 4 was a fantastic game. I got to Peace Walker, which is really what Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain are really taking a lot from mechanics-wise. And for whatever reason, I could not do that game if my life depended on it. There's something to be said that the game was designed to be played with a little bit of multiplayer involved, and I never did end up doing that. But I just don't find Big Boss or Naked Snake, whatever you want to call him, to be nearly as interesting of a character as Solid Snake is or was at this point. But more importantly, I thought Metal Gear Solid 4 tied up everything, sort of the overarching narrative so well, and they covered amazingly, I mean, through some stroke of like deal with the devil and demonic powers, tied up every little hanging plot thread so well. It was like, this is how the story ends. We're done.
so
And they're like, by the way, Peace Walker. And I just, and then they do this Peace Walker thing, and I'm like, okay, I mean, you're wanting to go back, that's fine. The mechanics are a little bit different, okay, that's fine. I'm not really into it, but whatever. And then they start announcing Ground Zeroes, and they go, oh, it's more Big Boss, and it's sort of like Peace Walker. And then Kiefer Sutherland is doing the voice, and I'm like, what? And they go, there's no codec, and I'm like, what do you mean there's no codec? I don't get on my one knee and put it up to my ear.
Yeah, I just found out about this. I was watching a quick look earlier, and yeah.
So back to the question
I'm
at
just like,
hand before all the derailing there.
I'm just saying.
Robert asked, "Is Ground Zeroes worth $30?" So basically, what he's asking is a 2-hour game worth $30?
2-hour story campaign.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't personally think it's worth $30. I am excited to play it. Like I've seen a quick look of it. I've seen people playing it, and it's exciting. You know, when you hear Kiefer Sutherland's voice coming out, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem right at all. But I don't know. If the game looks gorgeous, and I just loved how the compound looked. Is it worth that much money? Hell no, not at all. But it'll be on sale soon enough. So.
I'm not a Metal Gear Solid fan, and I was thinking about getting into it with this, but I would pay no more than $15 for it. There's no way, especially since I'm not a fan.
I mean, people said that. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of the side stuff is definitely, there's a lot of replay value in it, but still, even so, probably the most you get out of it is like 10 hours maybe, and for $30, that just seems ridiculous.
$3 an hour isn't worth it for you?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of smaller indie games. Journey for me was definitely worth $15, and it was only a 2-hour game. So, I have no problem with games that kind of go the movie length route. I think that's just perfect. It's just like watching a movie. You could just sit down, experience from start to end, and it's just amazing. But I don't know. This is a different case, I think, than other indie titles. So.
My 2 cents on this is, if you care enough about Metal Gear Solid that you've been able to follow the plot line up to Ground Zeroes, this is probably worth $30 for you. If not, then absolutely not. But
as someone who has followed the plot line, I don't know. Like, evidently, it got not leaked. I guess someone actually was able to beat. It came out today or yesterday. Someone had actually beaten the whole story side of that game in 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, but that's somebody who beat it multiple times before. They've already beat it several times, and they skipped every cut scene and just went straight from start to finish. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, that does not breed confidence in me that like, oh, I'm going to get my money's worth out of this. It's like, oh, if I just skip the cutscenes, that's going to eliminate half the game time.
Well, wasn't Skyrim beaten in like an hour or something like that? Like,
it was. Oh God, I did a story on this.
Huge.
Skyrim was beaten. I want to say it was like an hour and 17 minutes.
Yeah, it was something like that. I was like, how do you fucking do that? It's somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing, and it's just
like
running.
Monday night, I was laying in bed and I was on Twitter, and someone had a link to a speed run of someone was trying to speed run, break their own record in Mario 64 by like getting 120 stars. Like, and the record was like an hour and 49 minutes.
Holy shit!
I'm not sure if you guys seen this, like people speed running. Well, I mean, I'm sure it happens in other games too, of course. But
yeah.
The way this guy moved through the level was absolutely incredible to watch. Like, it was amazing. The sad part of it was, though, at the end he didn't. He failed. He kind of choked on the ending when he was fighting Bowser. And he just threw the controller on the ground and just walked away. I just left the stream running, and then people were just commenting. Like 9,000 people watching, but it was mostly really positive. Like, people were saying, you know, don't worry about it. You'll get the record next time. They were being really nice to the guy, but some people would be like, oh, he always chokes on the Bowser part. So it was so entertaining, and then that led me to watching
Always chokes at
this
Bowser.
other guy who, I don't know if it's his rival, but they kept mentioning this guy named Cosmos. I know I'm going off on a tangent here.
Oh, Cosmo's a great streamer.
Yeah, I went and watched him beat Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time in 18 minutes, obviously by breaking the game, but it was just, I'm like, how do they find out how to break the games like they do, you know?
Yeah,
That was
that's
insane.
crazy when I saw that. Pokemon Red was beaten in 2 hours.
Oh my god!
I can't imagine doing that.
I can't either. Like, how do you train enough to get to the gym leaders and shit?
Yeah, and like with the Zelda speed run, he was running like backwards, like he was, because you know the character moves faster when he's moving backwards, so he was just traversing the level, not even looking at where he was going, and it was insane.
Johnny, you were saying something?
I
Johnny?
was just gonna say, I mean, I can't remember. That didn't matter.
Okay, so the other question,
I'm here.
your quality's
Can you
cutting
hear
in
me?
and out. Yeah, now we can.
It's not me for once.
So the other question was, is it a good thing or a bad thing when we get a week with a bunch of high-profile games being released at once like we had this week?
Yes.
It's a good thing for the overall industry. It's a bad thing for people who have to buy them all.
Like us.
Like us. Like, I'm so overwhelmed with games right now. It's not even funny. Oh, God.
Who's got a pre-order down for Second Son?
Oh, yeah, me.
I do.
Yep.
I still got to play part 2.
Oh, man.
I'm bad. I mean,
It's a PlayStation Plus game.
No, I have it. I have it for free, but I have it. I think
I just beat it.
physical and digital, but I don't know.
I just beat it last week.
You should
Yeah.
power through it. It's only like a 10-hour game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first one. I got the platinum.
have
It was super
tomorrow.
tedious, but
Yeah, you have all day tomorrow. Or tomorrow night or whatever, whenever you get off work or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It sucks for us. But at the same time, you know, it just means that we have more games that are at our hands or that we can put in immediately after we beat one game. So that's awesome.
And it's a nice mixture of genres too. Like it's all different type of games that are coming out right now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I asked like whenever I found out that Demon Souls or Dark Souls 2 was coming out the same day as Titanfall, I was like, oh man, that sucks that these two games are coming out on the same day. And like I got like my asshole ripped out by fans saying that, oh, these are two different genres, nobody's gonna be playing both these games. And then wait for it, fucking Tuesday and Wednesday, everyone on like Podcasts Unlocked and stuff, people were talking about, oh man, it's hard to decide if I want to play Dark Souls 2 or Titanfall. I want to play them both. And it's just like, oh my god, like same fucking people were just ripping me one for that.
Yeah.
Annoying as hell. Somebody got booted out of the call. Looks like Johnny was. I'll go ahead and disconnect and then call him back.
Okay.
All right. Now keep him there.
Now keep him there. Suck it, Johnny. Are you back? No?
I'm here.
that as
And
a-
Ah.
I wasn't, and then I was again.
Okay, you're back. Okay,
Did you
so.
did you hear what I said about you?
I probably something dirty about my mother. I don't care.
I would never say
He didn't go
something
that far.
dirty. She's beautiful.
She's beautiful, beautiful. So the next question is from this awesome dude named Courtney on Facebook. He says, "What makes you such a kick-ass Nintendo ninja, Lou?"
Shameless. Can we just skip
Could be
this?
worse. I could have been the one who said it.
Okay, so question from Dennis on Facebook. He says, so with the 3 biggest titles out for the platforms, it seems that all 3 companies are focusing on different things. Sony is focusing on single player with Infamous Second Son. Nintendo is focused on co-op with Mario 3D World, and Microsoft is focused on multiplayer with Titanfall. Is this indicative of what's to come?
So we're talking local co-op versus online.
Yeah.
I
I don't think it's their focuses necessarily.
yeah.
I mean,
no.
Nintendo. I think Nintendo would be the one
That's
who
very
would focus on
accurate.
single player the most.
No,
So,
I think Nintendo's always been the
Local co-op.
ad hoc, co-op.
Yeah, get on the couch with your friends, get on the couch with your family, and play. That's Nintendo's big.
Yeah, I don't think
thing.
it's anything new. That's not new for Nintendo for sure.
Oh.
And I don't think Microsoft, the multiplayer, online multiplayer is new either. That's basically been their selling point for the last generation even with Halo, with Call of Duty, with everything. It's always been Microsoft first. It's always been Xbox 360 first. So that's not new either. And as for Sony and single player, it's not just Infamous Second Son that's a big single player game. Like even when people talk trash on their, all their first party games or all their exclusive games, they're all like these JRPGs and RPGs and stuff like that only niche audiences play. But even that, most of their games are just single player games. So
Not The Last of Us.
Not
well,
The
I
Last
mean,
of Us.
I think a lot of it is them getting away from, there was a time where they were, horning in multiplayer into all these different games, and they're just realizing there's not really a need to do that. So
Yeah.
but I think most companies, and then most of this is third party anyway, are kind of stepping away from that. So
Yeah. I don't know. I just see this as a continuation of what they did the last generation as well. I don't think it's anything new. I don't think it's anything that's going to change. These are what they do, and that is going to stay the same. But it's not like it's new, in my opinion.
Do you think? I think that there was a time where Sony was stressing multiplayer a lot harder than they were now, though.
They were trying to because Microsoft was so successful.
Right. Do you think they're backing off of that market permanently? Not saying, go ahead and have it Microsoft, but just trying to keep the stress on single player titles and offer great multiplayer? Or do you think that they're going to try and swoop in and take some of the Xbox Live thunder away?
I personally, I think that their first parties are going to stick with single player, other than things like Guerrilla with Killzone. But as for third-party games on the PlayStation 4, so far Battlefield and Call of Duty has proved to be better on PlayStation 4. And what I've been hearing lately is that Activision is pushing for the PlayStation 4 to be their main publisher and their main platform for all of their games going forward. So that'll be games like Destiny, and further it could extend to things like Call of Duty and stuff like that. And so these games, these multiplayer games, are going to be PlayStation 4 first, like they were 360 first last generation, because they're better on it, because it's easier to program or whatever, because they have higher latency or higher frame rate, and all of that shit is going into it, while the Xbox One is kind of just being shit on right now by basically all third parties. They're like, your console's awesome, but we can't make it as good for your console as we can for the PlayStation 4. That's basically what's been the story so far. So I think that they will push multiplayer third party first, but not first party. I think Naughty Dog and all the other, I can't think of them all right now. I think they're all going to
Sony
push
Santa Monica.
Media Molecule.
They're going to be like, hey, make the best single player game you can, and if you want to add multiplayer in, go ahead, but don't stress yourselves, because The Last of Us was good. The Last of Us multiplayer was good. It was surprisingly good for most people. So if they can
For
do
Naughty
something,
Dog.
yeah, for Naughty Dog. But I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They don't have to worry about it. Third party is going to do work for them in regards to multiplayer. Call of Duty is going to be probably bigger. Well, it has the possibility of being bigger on the Sony platform because the install base is probably going to be slightly higher. But then there's also the issue of there's still that agreement with Microsoft and Activision as far as DLC goes. You know, it released on their console first, so that's definitely going to have an impact on it. But the game's probably going to look better on PlayStation, so there's that too.
Johnny, you have an opinion?
I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking about, just sort of the initial question. I think it has more to do with the companies individually. I think everyone's right here. I think, yeah, Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo all have one actual goal in mind, and that's to sell their games, to sell their systems, right? And by whatever means necessary. So, yeah, Microsoft, the last generation, was really known for its multiplayer, right? It was really known for sitting there because Xbox Live and Xbox 360 was the predominant system, And so, that's just what you saw a lot of focus on, right? Nintendo has always been about the couch, sitting together with your friends and family. So, that's no surprise there. They're going to sit there and push that. And Sony, last gen was really trying to play catch up with Microsoft in a lot of that online space for sure. This generation, I think what you're obviously beginning to see is that, yeah, Sony's getting sort of a step ahead. Like I said, with Activision, sort of rumors that they're going to make the PS4 their lead SKU in most cases. But I think that the companies are focusing on one thing over another, I think is a misnomer. I definitely think they're all. I think all three of them are trying to explore as many of the different avenues as they can, and if they can be successful at them, obviously focus on those successes. So obviously, yeah, Microsoft for years has always been like, hey, Xbox Live is the premier gaming space, and obviously the PlayStation Network's been playing catch up with that, and with PlayStation Plus, this and since becoming what it is today now is something that you could easily say rivals Xbox Live, at least when it comes to content, if not necessarily player base at this point. But yeah, no, I don't think this is like I said, going back to answering the question directly, I don't think this is what we're seeing them focus on, sort of a snippet of what this month, and in Mario's case, last Christmas, was sort of a moment in time, like, hey, this is a thing. But yeah, I don't see this as some sort of statement on the company itself.
So just totally off topic, but apparently breaking news. Last year, Sony announced that they were going to be bringing an original TV series to PlayStation, and it was announced by Deadline and the Wall Street Journal that it'll be called Powers.
I'm so excited.
It's a 1 hour drama for PlayStation. It's an adaptation of the graphic novel by writer Brian Michael Bendis and artist Michael Avon Oeming.
Michael Avon Oeming, yep.
A genre mashup that combines elements of noir, fantasy, and police procedurals. It follows the adventures of two detectives investigating the crimes of people with superhero-like abilities known as powers. It'll be produced by Sony Pictures TV, a separate Sony entity behind shows like Breaking Bad, Masters of Sex, and Hannibal. It's been in development for some time, and it's made it to the pilot stage with FX. So there's no time frame on when it will begin shooting, blah, 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 blah. So that's cool.
Yeah, sweet.
Totally off topic, but I had to read it because I just saw the news.
If you guys haven't read that comic book, they have a new story arc going right now. That comic's been running for years at this point. I want to say the first arc is called Who Killed Wonder Girl or something like those lines. But yeah, the whole premise is basically it's cops in a world full of superheroes, right? And they are tasked with basically, yeah, the first story arc is a superhero is murdered, and they are tasked with finding the killer, right?
Damn.
It's the art style is really cool. Michael Avon Oeming has a really unique style, hard lines. So it definitely has. It's not really the closest thing to say a cel shaded look you would have, say, in a comic book.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be definitely interesting to see sort of what visual style they take with the show. I've been really excited for this when I heard they were shooting a pilot for FX. Now that it's coming to the PS3 and the PS4 to a certain degree, that's fine. Even if it's terrible, the fact that it got made, be like, hey, I'll at least check it out. It's no problem by me. But yeah, if you guys haven't read it, it's actually pretty cool. Legit. Little side note there.
Okay, so moving on to the last question before we wrap things up. Dennis asks, so with the PlayStation Now not too far away, what games do you think we can expect? And do you think we'll get trophies in all these games? And will they add games over time like PlayStation Plus? I think the last question is obvious. That's a given that they will add games over time. And they've already announced the games will include trophies. So I think all games that have trophies right now will at least have trophies. But if they add games that don't have trophies, I'm not so sure that they'll add them in. Though they do have the technology to do that. They did patent that like 2 years ago or something like that. Right. So that could happen.
I'm going to say that there's going to be an interesting model with the trophies, though. This is my prediction. Kind of like how for subscription games online, like for anyone who played DC Universe Online on the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, you don't get trophies unless you pay the subscription fee.
Same thing with Final Fantasy 14.
Right. I think there will be something interesting, like if you rent it for a day. I'm not sure how they're going to do the pricing model for PlayStation now, but if they do a renting thing, I'm sure they'll only give you trophies for having a certain status of buying it.
So, I mean, what kind of games do you guys think will be coming? Do you think it'll only be first party, or do you think it'll be all games on PlayStation consoles, or what?
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of first party stuff from PS3 mainly, I would say.
Yeah, I would. In my opinion, I think it's gonna be first party first. You know, that they'll put The Last of Us and Uncharted and games like that out there. But I don't remember what all games they were showing off with PlayStation Now. I know The Last of Us was, but I don't remember what else was. I swore there was a third party game
Beyond
out there.
Two Souls, I think.
Oh yeah, so that's another first party game. No, they're not first party.
It's not
No,
third
they're-
party.
No,
they're
they're second party.
They're second party, yeah.
Yeah.
Something. I think that you're gonna have a lot of first party titles, but that's
The one they showed in the image was
okay.
Okay, so, yeah.
I
Sorry.
think they're gonna have a lot of first party titles, but that's just gonna be because it's difficult to get contracts written up on time for this.
Yeah.
They have to figure out the business aspect, how much percent each company is gonna get out of the service. So they're just gonna work on that, and we're gonna see a slow trickle of what games get put out there. But first party first.
Yeah, I agree because like I can see them putting all their first party games and then like it going crazy, you know, like subscriptions just shoot way up and then Sony can be like, "Hey, you know, all you third party developers, look at how much money we're getting off this stuff, you know? Do you want in on this? We can give you a cut." And I think then games will start being put on there, especially games that are 3 or 4 years old, 5 years old, games that don't sell new anymore. And if they could find a way to get money out of it, then why not? Why would they not want to put it up there?
I also hope this streaming service is not only limited to that. Like, it would be cool if it was just a rental service as well, where you could actually download the game onto your system, and then the game has an expiration, you know, depending on how long you're renting it for.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would be so much better because, you know, a lot of questions are whether or not the service is going to run properly, and I'm really... Like, you know, I don't think it's going to work how they want it to work off the bat, that's for sure. So I think a good workaround with that is like, hey, if you're going to have the service come out where people could rent the game and stream them, let them download them too. Why not add that? All you have to do is add some sort of, you know, just like your PlayStation Plus, how that service expires, just make it so that the game itself expires as well.
Yeah. Who just sent a picture?
Lou sent pictures.
Why are you sending us pictures, bro?
No reason.
That's awesome. Okay. So, anyways, what's everybody playing this week?
Mine's weird. I have a weird pick.
Actually, guys, before we get into this, I actually unfortunately have to hop off. So I need to go ahead and call it a night on my end.
Okay.
Mainly because you guys keep cutting out really badly in my, like, for whatever reason, like I hear silence for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that goes on with yours too.
So yeah, I'm just like, so when you asked me the question, I was like, I'm just going to talk about what I thought I heard. So anyways, that and I got to get up early for the works in the mornings. But anyways.
Okay, so where can they find you on everything?
As always, guys, I write news and the occasional feature for the website. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's errant_thoughts because I am wildly inconsistent with what I tweet. Yeah, beyond that, if you want to find me, you can also message me on
Beyond.
the actual Military Gaming Facebook page. And so we always read those too. Anyways, everyone have a great time. I'm going to go ahead and hop out. Hope this doesn't destroy the podcast. If it does, you're going to hear another small break. But I guarantee you, nothing has happened, I promise.
All right.
It's all perfectly
All right.
normal.
Later, Johnny.
Later, guys.
See you, Johnny.
So, anyways, what are you guys playing?
Okay, mine's weird. We just went from SteamWorld Dig,
Yeah.
and Infamous Second Son's coming out soon. I've needed something to fill this middle gap. I've been playing Warframe.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah,
I actually played that a lot when the PS4 first came out.
it's very repetitive. It's not that great of a game, but I'm having a fun time with it. It's essentially, if you've ever played the multiplayer for Mass Effect 3, I'm not one of those people, but it's supposed to be very much like that, except worse.
Yeah,
And
it's okay.
right, it's a good time kill though. That's
yeah, for sure.
That's the important thing, and it's got a thriving community, surprisingly.
Oh yeah, and it's got a huge customization. Like, I don't even know. There's so much you could do to your characters. It's ridiculous, and it's like there's a lot of in-game currency and real currencies to be able to do shit, and it's a huge game. It's fun if you have the right people to play it with. It's not fun alone for very long because eventually you run into levels that you are too underpowered for.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Jason? What are you playing?
Well, I'm playing the usual NHL 14. I'm always on there playing online against people. It's just a really bad habit. I used to be into the first-person shooter Call of Duty crap, and I broke that habit. But now this is my new habit: is hockey, which is fine because I love hockey. But other than that, nothing. Like about a week ago, I finished Plants vs. Zombies on the PS Vita, which I spent about 2 weeks of my life platinuming, and I really enjoyed the game. But that game, I'm not sure if you guys ever platinum Zombies, you have to. The game literally makes you play every single mode and do everything that you could possibly do in the game in order to get to platinum, which I guess makes sense. But by the end, I was kind of burnt out, and it was actually kind of weird. I never get anxiety, but I was getting anxiety for a while there. Like I'll be laying in bed and I can't fall asleep, or I just feel like my body just felt really weird. And as soon as I platinum Plants vs. Zombies and stopped playing it, all that anxiety went away. So I don't know if I'm ever gonna play part 2.
Clinical Plants vs. Zombie depression.
Yeah, I've never felt that. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't had any anxiety since I that game the other day. Yeah, it must have been that. So yeah,
I had that with Hearthstone. I know the pain.
yeah, cool.
I've been playing Tales of Symphonia HD. In fact, I just finished up the review and everything, so it should be going up sometime Thursday or Friday, depending on a couple of other things that we have to do. And then I'm basically holding off for Infamous Second Son. Hopefully, my GameStop is going to be doing a midnight release. I talked to them and they said it's likely that they will be because there's a lot of interest in it. And so should be getting the game at midnight, and then I'm going to be playing it immediately, and I'll probably play it until I beat it Friday.
Are we gonna have a race?
Oh, do you want to have a race? You'll have it exactly at midnight because you have it downloaded or whatever.
Who's reviewing
No,
it?
I'm getting
sure
it.
You might have said that, but who's doing the review for it?
I'm doing the review for it.
We're doing a joint
sweet.
review, but he's doing the review, but I'm going to talk to him about it.
I'm writing it.
Yeah.
Cool, sweet.
So that'll be exciting. I might stream the entire thing. I don't even know yet. We'll see how it goes.
You going good or evil?
Oh, good. Absolutely good the first time.
Always good the first time.
I always do good the first time because I think it's a lot easier to play
Yeah.
hard on evil.
Yep, that's what I hear from everybody. So, but anyways, so game releases this week. Big week. PlayStation consoles the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 both have Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. The PlayStation 3 also has, is it Yaiba? Ninja Gaiden Z?
Sure.
Sounds
we'll,
right.
We'll go with that. And then I don't know if it's Luft Razors or Lift Razors because I have it spelled two different ways on here. But anyways, so there's that game. And then Final Fantasy.
Look that up.
I think it's Lift Rousers.
Lift Rousers?
I think so, yeah.
Well, it's one of those. And then Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD remastered.
Cool.
PlayStation 4, other than Metal Gear Solid, also has SteamWorld Dig and Infamous Second Son. On Vita, it has Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD remake and Lift browsers or whatever. Yeah. So, Jason, what's on the Xbox consoles?
Xbox 360 and Xbox One both are getting Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. 360 is getting Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden Z, and Constant C. On the PC, we got Deus Ex The Fall, Lift Rousers, Braveland, Lin, and Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden Z.
Did I say Metal Gear Solid 4 or 5?
I don't know.
For some reason, I remember saying 4, but whatever.
I felt weird when I said 5, so possibly.
See, that's why I felt weird, because like when you said it, I was like, wait, did I say 4? Uh-oh. That sounds bad. Oh, Lua comes out on the Nintendo consoles.
On Wii U, we have nothing. And on 3DS, we have Yumi's Odd Odyssey and Pokemon Battle Trozy.
Whatever that is. I don't know.
I think it's some sort of puzzle game, if I'm right.
Okay.
Think Candy Crush, except with Pokemon.
Candy Crush. Okay. So that wraps up episode 25. Oh, wait. We have a giveaway. We have a giveaway to talk about. Lou, what's the giveaway?
The giveaway is for, as I mentioned before, SteamWorld Dig, the PS4, PS Vita version. How we're going to be running the giveaways, we're going to be running it on... I'll post a feature article on the website. We'll also have it tweeted out on Twitter tomorrow, which is your today. And on Facebook, we're going to be doing one of those Rafflecopter giveaways, and we'll be posting stuff on that. The only mandatory thing we're asking is you give us a SteamWorld Dig pun. And I copied this from another fellow journalist, Invisible Gamer. And they got some really interesting stuff, stuff about robots, digging, steam, et cetera, et cetera. I just think of something witty. You get 1 point for doing that. And then if you follow us on Twitter, if you follow Image and Form, the creators of the game, and you like us on Facebook, you also get extra points to have a higher chance of winning. So look for that stuff tomorrow. I'm going to be posting it around.
Okay. So anyways, that wraps up Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast, episode 25. As always, we record on Wednesdays and release on Thursdays, even though my outline says Tuesdays and Wednesdays. This is an old outline that I recycled. So we ask you every week that you can ask us questions or submit comments or anything like that by emailing us at mong.podcast@gmail.com, or you can contact us on Facebook and Twitter at Middle of Nowhere Gaming Mong on Facebook and at Mong Podcast on Twitter. Be sure and check out the website, middleofnowheregaming.com, every day for all of our newest stories, blogs, previews, reviews, all that good stuff. Most recently, we just had our Titanfall review go live, so go check out our Titanfall review. And our SteamWorld Dig review just went live this week. And we had the news stories on Titanfall for 360 being delayed, and the Oculus Rift, and the Project Morpheus. All those news stories are up on the website, so go check them out if you haven't heard of any of them, which you probably have if you're listening to this. But whatever. You can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. Look up middleofnowheregaming.com or Middle of Nowhere Gaming or Mong Podcast, those kind of things. You can find them on there. And you can follow us all on Twitter. You can follow me at Osborne_2009. You can follow Lou at...
You can follow me at Lou Contaldi.
And you can follow Jason at...
At Of Mixed Descent.
Of Mixed Descent?
Yeah, I freaking love my Twitter handle, by the way, and I'm waiting for PSN to allow us to change our names. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
But
that'd
Of
be
Mixed
cool.
Descent, my mom's Irish, my dad's Puerto Rican, so...
Get on it, Shuhei.
And you can follow me on, or you can find me and friend me on PSN at Osborne2009. You can follow Lou on his services at where?
King Louis Trip if you're on PSN, King Louis on any Nintendo platform.
And Jason, what's your PSN and
Yeah,
stuff?
you can friend me on PSN at Ranma626, so RANMA627. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll talk to you all again next week, and be sure and go sign up for the giveaway for SteamWorld Dig, because it's an awesome game, and if you don't sign up, I'm gonna win it instead. Penis.